Hey guys, Josh here with Josh and Hunter's Adventures, and welcome back to another episode. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 baits for new bass fishermen. There's a lot of talk on the internet you see on Facebook and even on here on YouTube about people that's just getting into fishing, bass fishing in particular, and they're all the time asking, what bait do I start out with? What's a good bait? So I'm going to give you 5 baits. I'm going to go over each one of them with you and show you how I work them and talk to you a little bit about each one of them. So if this is your first time visiting our channel, be sure you go down and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way you know when we put out videos. But let's go ahead and get straight into it, and we'll start going over the first one. The very first one I'm going to be talking they're imitating a shad or a bait fish, whatever color that you're going to be using, and all these are going to be for pond or for lakes, rivers even. So what we got here is I've got a this is an original chatterbait, so it isn't a jackhammer, it's just your normal original chatterbait. And then I've got a Z-Man trailer on the back of it there. So you want to make sure you put a trailer on here. This is like I said, in a shad color. Now I'm going to talk about how I normally fish a chatterbait. So what you're going to want to do if you're in a pond or you're in a lake, if you're on a boat, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to be casting, towards the bank, into cover and stuff like that. But if we're on the bank, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fish parallel, or you're going to want to hit any structure that you see right there, and bring it by and work every little piece that you can fish right in that area. So what I like to do is I'm going to show you how I like to fish it. What I do is I just cast it out there, and as I'm reeling it in, I just give it a pop every now and again. Just pop, pop, just a little pop here and there. And that's the best way that I've found to fish a chatterbait, is just reeling it in and give it a little pop. And what that makes it do is that makes it flutter. And it makes that blade, when it's hitting the head of this chatterbait, it's making that noise. So every time that you jerk it, it just gives that little flutter. So these really, these catch fish, and you don't have to do that. You can just do a normal retrieve if you wanted to. But every now and again, it seems like they like that little bit of jerk, that little pop, pop. Seems like that really keys them in, especially if they're trailing it and you're reeling it, and then you give it that pop. It's usually they'll hit it right then. But let's go ahead and get on to the next one. All right, guys. So the next bait that we're going to be talking about is a swim bait. This one happens to be on a underspin. It's just a little blade there you can see on the bottom. You don't have to throw it on that. That's just what I have it rigged up on. I like to throw an underspin. It mimics that bait fish. It throws just a little bit of flash off, and they really seem to key in on that. But swim baits in the bass fishing world are big right now. You got anything from a giant Huddleston to, like this little 3.3 Kitech. And I'm lucky enough to be partnered up with Kitech, and they're a great company to deal with, and I really, really like them. They have a great paddle on them. The tail is just really paddles, and it's a really, really good bait. So again, the way you're going to want to fish this, and even if you're fishing it from a boat, you're going to cast 45-degree angle and bring it back really slow is the way I like to do it. If there's any cover, hit that cover, okay? It's all about, fish love cover, okay? They feel safe. They can get in there and they can ambush their shad or the crawdads, whatever it might be that they are going to be targeting at that time. So I'm going to go over with you how I will retrieve it. Like I said, you cast it out there, you find your target, cast it out, and it's a really slow retrieve is what I like to do. And this is a 6-3 to 1 right here. So what I like to do is just crank it just real slow and just bring it back. And a lot of times how they are going to hit this bait is it's almost like, sometimes they hit it so hard it's like bam, like they hit it, and it just like jerks the rod real hard. But a lot of times it's almost like a tick, or it's like they run up behind it and they're swimming with you, and it's almost like you just feel weight. So if you feel that, be sure to set the hook because the hook sets are free, is the way I say it. I always tell Hunter, if you think it's a fish, you better jerk, because I feel like a lot of people miss fish on swim baits because they don't know, was that a fish, you know? And once you get the hang of it and you feel it, you're going to catch a lot more on it, because like I said, sometimes you think that's not a fish, but that's a fish. They just run up behind it and swim with it. Especially these smaller ones, they'll run them and just suck it in, you know, and you'll never feel it. But again, swim baits are a great bait for beginners, like I said, because they catch fish and they catch big fish. So let's move on to the next bait, guys. Okay, guys, my number 3 bait is a topwater pawpaw. Okay, I always tell new people that are starting out, if you want to see something really fun, just throw that pawpaw in the late spring and the early summer, all through summer really. Once you get that one bust, once that one bass busts on that, you're going to be hooked on topwater for life. Okay, I mean, it's just so much fun. This one is the Strike King. It's in I think Clearwater minnow. It's got like I said, 2 treble hooks and then a little feather trailer there on the back. Again, this is the same way. You're going to want to fish this parallel to the bank. Any cover at all that you find out there in your pond, your lake, your river, you're going to want to hit it. Rocks, bring it by rocks, any type of brush, trees, logs, anything like that where those bass are going to be laying, to ambush those shad or bluegill, whatever it might be that's in your pond, lake, or river. Now the way that I like to fish this bait is, obviously it's a pawpaw, so what you do is you throw it out there and you just pop it along, okay? So it's like a pop, and you let it set, and then I'll do a pop and let it set. And it's really just finding what kind of cadence that they're keying in on at the time. Like I said, you just, and it's going to go bloop, bloop. You can see, if you're new to fishing, like I said, you can see how it's made there. This one, it's got, you can see the mouth marks there on it. They'll come up and grab it right there, but it's got that cup in the front, and you just pop it and it plop, plop, plop in the water. And the feather really is just to, you know, get them triggered in on it. They see that, a little bit of color and flash, and they grab a hold of that right there and just bust on it. But a lot of times it's very aggressive strikes, because it's almost like it's not like really a feeding, like it's almost like a reaction strike, you know. It's like, you know, oh, they're going to eat it. And a lot of times when you throw it up to that cover or that bank, the first couple pops, bam, they've usually, I mean, they're usually keying right in on it. And again, you just cast it out. Once it hits the water, and you just pop it, pop. That's what I like to do. And it is so much fun to catch them on topwater, guys. I know the ones of you all that are, you know, not beginners know how much fun it really is. But this one you're really going to enjoy catching them on. Let's go on to the next bait, guys. All right, bait number 4 is the Ned Rig. Okay, whatever it is that they like about this, I don't have a clue, but it is just so simple. It's basically just a little mushroom head, jig head, with a very small, like a 1/0 hook. It's probably what this one is right here. And it's just, I don't get it, but it's straight. Like, there's no action really to it, but the bait stands up on the bottom of the lake, the pond, the river, wherever it might be, and you just pop it along. Is the way I fish it. Just pop it along, and they absolutely kill this thing. Now this is one of the Z-Mans, so it's got that Elazatech. You can see it's very stretchy. You can catch multiple fish on this thing, and it very rarely does it ever tear. But like I said, again, we're going to pick out different things. This is a bait that we can fish just a little bit deeper. So for instance, if we're in a pond or in a lake, we can cast just a little bit more out into the area if we're trying to get down just a little bit deeper. This is a bottom bait. Like I said, so when we cast it out there, we're going to let it sink to the bottom, and then we're going to work it back. You can pop it, or swim it a little bit, or drag it a little bit. But you're going to cast it out, let it sink to the bottom. It's going to sink to the bottom, and once it does, like I said, we're just going to pop it up, and you're going to want to keep tension on your line, somewhat tension, because you're going to feel them. They're either going to pick it up and they're going to run with it, or you're going to feel that tick, 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 and that's them chewing it, eating it, like sucking it in is what they're doing. But again, you're just gonna, I like to just pop it and just sort of keep tension on it. And this, believe it or not, this really catches them. They love to eat this. I don't know what it is, but again, any type of cover, you're just gonna pop it. Like I said, just pop it. It's a great way to learn to be able to figure out, you know, especially for beginners or even kids, if you take them to like a pond, because most bass will just, they don't really, in ponds they probably haven't really seen it and they just really eat it. But good, you know, common colors. This one's like an orange and a brown to mimic like a little small crawdad. Green pumpkin would be great. You know, just sort of match the color. The pond today is a little bit muddy. We've had some rain, but just match the color to the water stain that you have. If it's good and clear, go with green pumpkin. If it's got some dirt to it, you know, or mud, go with a darker color, or maybe something with a little chartreuse in it. But like I said, you're going to want to throw this on spinning gear because it is so light. It's very, very light. There's hardly any weight to it at all. Like I said, and when it falls on the bottom, this Lazatech form that they have on this Ned Rig here is it's going to stand straight up like that, and when you pop it, it's just going to continue to stand up like that each time that it falls. But really fun bait to catch them. Catch a lot of times smallmouth on it. They really seem to eat it really well, but also catch largemouth and spots. But let's go ahead and move on to the next bait. All right, so the last one, number 5, wacky rig on a Cinco. Probably the most fished bait in ponds ever to catch bass on. I mean, just unreal. So basically what this is you've got a Yamamoto Cinco, and I've got a little O-ring on there, and then I've got a weedless hook. Okay? And basically this bait right here, again, I don't have a clue what it would mimic, but they eat this thing like crazy. This is another one of those that you're going to want to fish maybe parallel around docks, especially if you have any docks on your lake or your pond. But you're going to throw it over there. You can skip it underneath there. It's so easy. I throw it on a spinning reel, but you don't have to throw it on a spinning reel. If you got a bait caster and you're comfortable with it, you can cast them because they have a little bit of weight to them. They're actually, I mean, I don't really know what the ounce or, you know, weight this would be, but it's fairly heavy. I mean, that's a lot of plastic right there. So, but as you can see, they have a lot of action. Okay, and that's what it does in the water when you cast it out there. If you find like an old tree or something or under a dock and you let it sink, that thing just shimmies on the way down. Okay, so it just flutters, and then when you pop it, you're going to pop it, and that bait just, look how it moves. Look at that. I mean, it just in the water, it just flutters. But again, so the way you're going to want to fish this is you're going to cast it out parallel to the bank, or hitting cover that it may be out in your water, and you're just going to, again, I'll show you, and it sinks fairly fast. You're going to pop, pop, and then let it sink. Pop, pop, let it sink. You just let it sink. And that bait, I mean, it just, there's so much action, like it just, and then it just will flutter down. And they're so much fun to catch them on. You'll see what I'm saying when you actually get one, but it's, so I want to explain to you again, when you pop it and then it just like it flutters down. It's really neat the way they've designed these. And you don't have to have the O-ring right here, but it really helps because you're going to save a lot of these baits. If you hook it through the actual bait, what happens is when the bass comes up and hits it, a lot of times it will tear it and you'll lose this bait. With the O-ring, it seems like they don't tear as bad. I mean, Yamamoto packs are like, what, $6? So, I mean, it's best to try to save as many of these as you can when you're first starting out. But it's a great bait for kids. or beginners that are just starting out, you take them to a pond that's got bass in it and they'll usually eat it up. You can go back and look at some of my pond fishing videos with me and Hunter, and you can see that we really have a good time catching them on these little Cincos here. And they're not just for ponds, you can use them in lakes also. But this one is a really fun one to catch them on. Guys, I hope this video helped you guys out. Like I said, I just wanted to make this because I see so many people on the internet, Facebook and on YouTube, that are just beginning, and they ask a lot of questions. So I just thought this would be a great video to share with you guys. Again, I'm sorry about the shooting in the background. We're right beside a gun range here at my pond here. So, but again, thank you for watching. If you got any comments or questions, please go down in the comments and leave them down there, because I want to hear from you guys, and I'll be glad to help you any way that I can. And again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please go and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way you know when we put out videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, this is Josh. We'll see you next time.